Hey, girl. So, today is Sunday, June 15th, 2025. It's Father's Day. Shout out to all of the fathers out there. Personally, my dad was not in my life when I was growing up. He's in my life now. So, it's one of those things where it's like better late than never. But growing up, I did have men in my life who helped to shape the woman that I am today. And that would be my godfather, my uncles. So shout out to them because I was a handful and they stuck by me the entire step of the way. And I love them very dearly. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Anyways, I am Elisha Maria. And this is 40 Something and Nothing, a safe space for women in their 40s to come together and navigate this thing called life so that we can go into our 50s gracefully, ready to go. And so, today we are talking about loneliness. I did not do much research about this topic because I feel like this is something that I am actively experiencing right now firsthand. Like, honestly, the way that I feel about my isolation journey and being alone and loneliness, it's even like talking about it right now is even making it hard for me to breathe. So if you hear any heavy breathing through this entire process, because I have to keep checking myself, like breathe, girl. Because this is a big topic for me, which is why I didn't feel like any additional research was needed, because I'm like, I'm going through this right now. Just talk. All right. So we just going to talk. And I hope that works for you. My alone journey looks like this. Okay. So this is what happened. 2022, I got divorced from my husband, who I was with for 12 years. And in March of 2024, I got married again. I remarried. And now I am living in San Diego. My husband is not here with me. I came to San Diego. I left my husband, well, not leave him in terms of like a divorce, but my husband is in Jamaica. And I left Jamaica and I came back to the United States to take on this role here at this company. And it was a tough decision for me to do that, but I just felt like it was a great opportunity. We needed the money. It needed to be done. So I said yes. But then I quickly realized how lonely, how lonely it could be. And then when I first got out here, because I have two young daughters. I have three daughters in total. One is in Arizona. She's grown. She's on her own. And I have two other young daughters that are with me. But when I first left Jamaica, they were still in Jamaica while I came to get settled in this new job, find us a place to live, and then I brought them over from Jamaica to here. And so for January, and this all happened January 2025. So in January, I was like really depressed, like here alone and so depressed. And I was drinking every single day. I would go to work and then I would go home and I would full bottle of wine every night. Like it was tough. It was really tough. And I realized quickly that this was not the route that I wanted to go on. That's when I started to feel like I was 40 something and nothing, because the connections that I had with my husband, my daughters weren't here. No one was here, and it was just me. And I had to understand that this was the decision that I made. And it's like one of those things like, this is the bed you made, girl, now you got to lay in it. And it was rough. It was rough in the beginning, which is why I mentioned in my past episodes about my sobriety journey that I take it very seriously, because at one point, January 2025, your girl was drunk every night. And that just wasn't the tea. That was not giving what it needed to give. And so now that I'm on this journey to my higher self, the first thing that I realized when I got rid of the alcohol and I started cutting and shedding some things in my life that shouldn't have been there in the first place, what I realized is that being alone is the price that has to be paid in order to complete my level up journey. It's one of those things, that old saying, like, it costs to be the boss. And that is absolutely true. There is a price that you have to pay when you are leveling up your life, when you are stepping into the new chapter, the new higher version of yourself. There is a price that has to be paid, and that cost is going to be high. And the stake is isolation. You are going to be alone. You have to be. Because a lot of the people, places, and things that you are allowing to take up space in your life can no longer fit. They no longer should be there. And so you will find yourself very much alone, quite a bit. Also, in addition to that, the people that you do find that you have around you, 9 times out of 10, don't even want to see you level up. They are happy seeing you stuck in the same spot where they found you. And the moment that you show any signs of getting better, no longer depressed, feeling like you can actually get up and get on with your day and trying to be the better version of yourself, they start looking at you sideways, because it's like, what are you doing? Why are you changing? You need to be the same broke, busted, depressed person that you were when I found you. That's what they want for you. And so a lot of times being alone is necessary, very necessary. Letting go of the negative nouns is what I talked about in the previous episode. You have to let go of people, places, and things that no longer serve the purpose of you stepping into that next higher chapter of your life. And with that being said, the people who are left over after you've done the work, if you followed the last 3 episodes and you've really been doing the work and you've cut some things out, some people out, and you're like, this is the handful of people that I got left over, you need to evaluate those relationships as well. Because you want to make sure that you are utilizing the relationships that are left in your life to serve the purpose that they are meant to serve. Now, that was a handful. That was a mouthful for me to say. So if it doesn't make sense, I agree with you. But let me explain. Let's say if my grandmother was still alive, Grandma Katie, may she rest in peace. But if she was still alive, I am not going to call her up and ask her, how do I post a TikTok video? That is not the purpose that my grandmother would be serving in my life. My grandmother would serve the purpose of, number one, checking on her, because, senior citizens got their health issues. You want to check on her, make sure she's doing okay as often as possible. But number 2, that relationship would be me wanting to gain wisdom, ancestral wisdom that has been passed down through generations in my family that can only come from her. That can't come from anyone else. That is what that relationship with my grandmother would look like. That when I'm reaching out to her and I've already checked and made sure that she's fine, she's good, she's well, the next thing is to listen, because I want to gain whatever wisdom and knowledge that she can pass to me that came from long ago, that only she can do that. I'm not going to be calling her up, asking her about something that she serves no purpose for. Now, if you want to know about TikTok videos, then you got to call up my teenager, okay? She can probably help you with that. But we got to know what the people who are left in our lives after we do a clean sweep and we have shedded and got rid of the negative nouns in our life, the negative people, places, and things, or the people who are just not serving purpose. And we are now looking at the stock of people that we have left over. Really start to identify the purpose that they serve and use that as such. So in terms of girlfriends, like I have 3 girlfriends in my life that I don't even like calling them girlfriends. These 3 women are family at this point, complete family. I've known them for so many years at this point. And they each serve a different purpose. One of them is very nurturing, very loving, like a mom. So if you need to talk to your mother and your mother isn't available, this is who you go to. The other one is, when I mean the ideas that come to her head in terms of recipes and household things and managing the kids, she's on point with that. So when you need that, that's what you do when you go to her for that. And then the last one, she's just amazing all the way around, and entertaining and just fun and just, it's just like a way to distract yourself from your everyday humdrum life, But my point is that people will serve certain purposes in your life, and you need to make sure that you are identifying that, because you don't want to overburden anyone with your stuff. You want to respect everyone's boundaries the same way that you would want them to respect yours. And with doing that, you tend to find that you're still alone, because it's like, I'm not going to call up my 3 besties every single time that I have a tearful moment. Or I'm not going to call them up and talk about work, because I'm off of, normally when I can call them, I'm off of work. And I like to leave this office door and leave everything that happened in this office door stays in this office door. And so we have to really start identifying the relationships that are left over and using them appropriately, not overburdening or overwhelming anyone with our stuff, which still makes you, at the end of the day, you still look around and you still feel that you're very much alone, lonely. But what I realize is that you are not alone, because you have someone that has been with you since day one, been in your life from the beginning with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that is you, girl. You have been with you from the beginning. You are with you right now. And I think we are so quick to try to fill our voids with outside sources that we forget that we are the plug. It is us. Learn to be your own best friend. During these times of cleaning up your life and going through this period of aloneness and loneliness, learn to be your own best friend. Reconnect with yourself again. If you pull out your phone right now and you look at your calendar, have you penciled yourself in at all? Are you there? Spa day, date night with yourself, extended shower days. Pencil yourself in, girl. Get to be your best friend. Get to know yourself. There are so many things that I am realizing that makes me smile, makes me laugh, that I completely enjoy doing, that I never even knew. And it's like, after 40 something years, girl, how did you not know that you like this stuff? Because I haven't been connecting with me. I haven't been taking the time to get to know me. I haven't been taking the time to be like, what do you like? What are you into? How you doing? How you been? Where you going? Like, I completely shut myself out and am quickly able to do that for other people in my life. But for myself, I am not my own best friend. I feel like I had been treating myself as if I'm my own worst enemy. Sometimes the things that I think about myself or say to myself, you would be like, do you even like you? And I'm being like really, really transparent and completely honest that I had to really learn how to love me again and understand that in this time of isolation, I am not alone because I got me. I am my own best friend and I need to act like it. So now I do things like pencil things in for myself in my calendar. I'm putting that in my calendar, a day to myself, a date for myself, buying myself flowers, treating myself to spa days. That is me connecting with me, having quality time with myself, which is why that is one of my core values. If you listen to my previous episodes, quality time to myself is so important to me now, because I am understanding that in these moments of isolation and no one else is around, this is the perfect time to talk to me, to confront and console myself. And in doing so, I have learned so much about myself that I didn't know before. And not only that, I have been able to hear my intuition again. Y'all ain't here. Y'all not hearing me right now. Y'all not hearing me. You're not hearing me at all. I have been able to hear my intuition again. I lost it for a little bit. I wasn't able to hear my intuition because it's such a whisper, right? The only thing that I was listening to was my brain, and my brain is loud, decisive, and normally wrong. You'd be like, loud and wrong. Like my brain just be loud for no reason and really negative most of the time. And it's like my faint little intuition had gone ignored for so long that it just was like a tiny little whisper. And now that I'm spending so much time with myself and getting to know myself again, I'm able to decipher who is who and which is which. I'm not listening to my brain anymore. I'm listening to my intuition. My intuition, our intuition, will never steer us wrong. Girl, listen to your intuition. And a lot of times we don't. We're so busy looking for someone else's intuition on what we should do for our lives that we forget that it should come from within. Our vision, our dreams, our goals, our discernment starts with listening and trusting our own intuition. Bringing that back up to trust, I mean, look at my husband is in Jamaica right now. And the first question that most people ask me is like, you can trust it over in Jamaica? He all the way over in Jamaica. You can trust that no, I can't. Absolutely not. I only trust myself. And now that I trust myself and I spent time with myself and I have became my own best friend again, little by little, it's a work in progress. I'm going through this now. But because I'm taking those steps, I am trusting me. And I understand that my intuition will let me know the moment that he was going to do something wrong, or the moment that something is not right over in Jamaica, my intuition will immediately tell me. And I now can hear my intuition's voice and know how to really listen to it and trust it 1000%. So no, I'm not putting my trust in man. You can't do that. that never works. I'm putting all of my trust, 100% of my trust in my own basket. And I understand that my intuition will tap in and will reveal everything. So it's not about the next person. It's about becoming your own best friend in those times of isolation. And when you do that, oh, baby, your intuition will start to speak again, because now it can feel comfortable doing that because it understands that you are now listening. Your intuition is like, okay, you hearing me? All right, so now I can talk, right? I can speak, and then you're going to actually listen. Yes. Because we're now besties. You're now my best friend. I talk to myself all the time. So doing this podcast, honestly, is a breeze for me, because I literally can talk to myself in the car. I talk to myself when I'm showering. Like, this is me having my quality me time and really getting to know and learn about myself again. So hoping that you will be able to do the same. So another thing that I do to strengthen that time with myself and to see it as a time of, instead of being loneliness, see it as a time of tapping into me and tapping into my intuition. I do these things called voice diaries. So if you have like a memo app in your phone where you can like record your voice or leave yourself little notes, I do a diary every day with my voice memo. And I really just sometimes I'm recording it in the car. If somebody was to pull up to the light beside me, they'd probably be like, "Oops, she in there talking to herself." Yes, I am. This is my voice diary. And I really, really go in and I go over how I'm feeling for the day, what I'm thinking. Literally, I use it as a diary. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I go back and I listen to some of them. And I'm like, wow, you were really feeling like that about that? Why did you feel that way? And that leads me to another discussion with myself to make sure that I'm checking in and tapping in and really getting to know me. And again, repairing my relationship with myself. And so this time of, I say all of that to say, this time of loneliness, that you feel that you're lonely, and this time of that you are actually alone, this is what you should be doing. Becoming your own best friend again, so that you can start to tap into your intuition. Your intuition is what's going to guide you into your next level. If you are trying to level up your life, you are going to need your intuition. Okay, that was a lot of information. In addition to all of that, just like you have in the corporate world, you have this thing called the wage gap. You know, when you start to make a little bit more money, you're no longer living in this certain area and you're now able to move on up like the Joneses, right? And the same thing will happen when you start to have quality time with yourself, when you start to see that the time alone is the price that you have to pay in order to get to that next level, that higher up. There will be a gap. There will be a gap in your relationships. There will be a gap between friendships. There will be a gap between the relationship with your children. It has to happen. That gap is what's going to, it's the space between where you are and where you are going. And in that space in between, not too many people fit. And not too many people want to fit. There are so many people who will smile in your face and will kick it and chop it up with you just because y'all are both at the same level. The moment that you start moving from letter C to letter B, they start looking at you sideways. Then you go from B to level A. Then you at the A level and they still at C. Oh, they definitely not rocking with you no more. Because why are you not here with me? Why are we both not at C? And that space just doesn't work for you anymore. You can't force yourself to be a C if you know that you're bound to be an A. If you're bound for greatness, you can't force yourself to shrink and meet people where they are. You can't do that because then you're miserable. This is a lot of information, but this is what I'm going through right now, you guys. This is what I'm experiencing. Anyways, learn to be your own best friend is the point. I have a few quotes that have been helping me through this time of isolation, this time of being alone, and I'm going to share them with you. I hope that they are able to help you as much as they have helped me. I don't know what the next episode is going to be about. Normally I do. I have no plans at this point. I know that there will be an episode, but I'm just going to let God give it to me organically, and we'll see where we go from there. I have quite a few topics. One of my besties called me up this past weekend and gave me so many ideas about topics that we should be talking about moving forward. And I am going to get into all of those. I just don't know which one I'm doing specifically for next week, but we'll figure it out. In the meantime, I hope these quotes will get you through the week so that we can reconnect on next Sunday, fresh and ready to start the next week of our leveling up journey. So I hope you're in a relaxed space. You can go back and re-listen to these few quotes that I'm about to give. You can write them down. You can share them. You can post them. Do whatever you want with them, okay? But here we go. Spending quality time with myself is a priority, a form of self-care that I do not take for granted. I know myself best, and I trust my own intuition and advice. Though I may be alone, I am never lonely because I am with me. Let me say that one again. Though I may be alone, I am never lonely because I am with me. Being alone does not equate to failure. I am just in a part of my story that I didn't plan for, and sometimes that's where the real story begins. The mind is certain, decisive, and loud. Your intuition is quiet, curious, and is normally in a form of a question. Your intuition is quiet because it has been ignored. So it has been trained to be in the background. And the only way to bring that voice back to the forefront again is having this isolation, having this time to yourself to really listen to you and get in touch with you again and become your own best friend. I hope that this segment made sense. If you are going through a tough time dealing with your isolation, because all of our stories are different, I want you to feel absolutely comfortable with reaching out to me if you need to. I am on Instagram. You can email me. However you need to reach me, do that because you are not alone. And sometimes it's just nice to know that something that you're going through, someone else is going through too, so that we can get through it together. I love you, girl, and we are getting through this. We are navigating these 40s, and we are going to get to 49 and be 40 fine, okay? Until next week, keep leveling up, keep doing the work. I know it's tough, but we're going to get through it. I love you, girl. Okay, bye.